river runs through it is a tale about a brother and his brother-in-law and his dad. Really, it's a story about family ties. I think that not only can anyone relate to, but a lot of us here in the South can relate to. You get connected with one family, you marry them, and then all of a sudden we're all one big family. And you may not like some of the people in your new family, but I think it's also a story about valuing time with family and trying not to take that for granted. And I know I told you that this story made me really examine, was I contributing enough time to my brother and my dad, and was I valuing that time with my brother and my dad? And that's why I gave it, I'm already going to spoil it, I gave it a 4 stars, but in retrospect, I think I'm going to give it a 5 stars at the end of the show. Spoiler alert.
What's with you retroactively regrading all these reads?
Well, I do think that there are some stories that stick with you more so than others, and maybe at first you don't really realize that until it's kind of like Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit is one that you just sit there and you kind of digest and it sticks with you, kind of like that steak I ate last night. And so you just sit there and you think about it, and you really realize that the value of that. I think it kind of reminds me of some of these kids we've got. We pour into them, and I don't think they really realize the job that we do until 15, 20 years later.
Yeah.
I know that was definitely the case for myself with some of the teachers that I had. Anyways, that's why I retrograde.
I am not here to judge you on retroactively regrading, because I too have been retroactively regrading stuff. When we first recorded about Project Hail Mary, I said it was a 3.
Yeah.
And that's a lie. That's a lie. That book's not a 3. But then I was like, why would you have said that, Jason? I think I got a little bit, I don't know. I think I got a little bit bored by the end of it because I was just trying to finish a big book. I don't know. But that book is a powerhouse. That's not a 3. And then Abolition of Man, I said is a 5-star, but it's like a 2 or a 3 read. And on Goodreads, I gave it a 4. So I'm somewhere in between because of that. I want to be a 5 at it with its ideas, but its readability is like a 2. River runs through it. I gave a 5. I gave this one a 5. But it is awfully short, and that's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay. I think it has some very powerfully written lines and scenes and ideas to it. But I also don't know that it's a full 5 for me. And part of me feels like, that's more of a 4. I think that's more of a 4 for me.
Well, I know I told you the parts that I enjoyed the visuals of the fly fishing and kind of the, I don't know, is it weird to say the coziness of it and kind of just like the relaxing nature of the fly fishing. And I enjoyed the mastery of it. Like that's a skillful way to fish, and they knew how to do it. But there were just times where I'm not really an outdoorsman. I can appreciate the outdoors, but there were times where I was just kind of, I don't know what's going on right now. And
he is so technical about it.
Yeah, very technical.
Technical. I mean, he appreciates the art and the technicality of fly fishing, all of the equipment, everything, the mastery of the cast.
Oh, yeah.
And there's so many scenes about whether you get it bungled up in the trees or, you don't want it to just hit and plop against the surface of the water. Like how did he describe it? But it was like the forward, back. Mm-hmm. There's so many things like that I did get bogged down in. But when I read Project Hail Mary, I did not get bogged down in all of the science.
I was about to.
And I enjoyed all the technicality that came up in that. Yeah.
Well, I was just thinking when I said that about how some of these motor racing books I read, even though I'm not like really I'm a car guy, but I don't really know like the inner workings of a car. But man, those mechanics on those Formula One books, there's one that Steve Matchett wrote. And he just gets to talking about, okay, on Monday we did this. We had to open it up and we had to pull apart and we did this diagnostic. And I'm just sitting there like, And then what did you do after that? So maybe it is just kind of an interest level thing.
Well, so fishing. Have you ever been a fisher? Have you ever been?
So Mary Beth was asking me about fishing whenever I was telling her what I was reading, and I told her that my childhood, so much of my childhood was spent out on the lake. We had a pontoon boat. My dad loved to fish. And I mean, we had some poles, and every now and then I'd grab one and cast one out and try to catch something. But I was never really a fisherman. Most of those days I would be reading, like Raji and my dad would be fishing, and I would be sitting there reading or bring my Game Boy and play Pokemon or something like that. Now, I did really enjoy some bank fishing. We had a pond in Pikeville, and my grandma on her farm would stock it with catfish.
Yeah.
Now, that was a lot of fun. I did enjoy the bank fishing.
Because?
I think because it was easy. Because it was easy. She would stock it with catfish and a few bass, and there was a albino one-eyed catfish that we had named.
This is already getting legendary.
We named it One-Eyed Jack.
Yes.
And we had a rule that if you caught Jack, you had to let him back. And I bet we caught that fish 4 or 5 times. One time though, we caught, I'm going to say 5. My dad had pulled his farm truck, and this is another thing. Fish freak me out. Like the way their mouths gape open, and I don't know. I don't really want to touch them, and I'm not afraid to admit that. I have from the get-go on this podcast and in my day-to-day life admitted that I'm not a manly man. I don't want to really touch a fish, but luckily my brother would, so we would catch these catfish. And we got this homemade stringer because we had to go haul some hay. And we took a coat hanger and unfolded it and stuck it through their jaws. And we were like, we'll come back for those later. And we stuck them in the bank. And we went out and worked, came back to get them. We were like, oh, what? They look weird. What's weird about them? A snapping turtle had came and just went to town. He had eaten all of them. It was just, I know that's sad, but it was just their heads on there. And we could not figure out, though, Raji and I could not, we thought that they'd gotten in a fight with each other. We couldn't figure out. We were like 10 years old. Couldn't figure out what happened. And then my dad was like, it's that old snapping turtle out there. Y'all just basically gave him the day of his life. So...
And here these poor fish are, God, why have you forsaken me? I can't get away.
Every time I tell that story, I think, man, that was probably the worst way of all time to go.
You know, in the stand, Lloyd Henry remembers that he had a pet rabbit that he kept in a box. And then 2 weeks later was like, oh my God, I got a rabbit. I had forgot about it. I remember Dad taking us fishing when we were younger. That's probably my most vivid memories of fishing, is that Dad would occasionally take us fishing up around City Lake in Jamestown, and or down at the park or something like that. I can vividly remember that. There was a pond back behind Grandpa's house that we would sneak out to because it was on the neighbor's property, and so if we went at night, nobody's going to see us. And I remember, whether we're camping or somewhere, you go fishing. But I do think that my first fishing memories are of going with my brother and Dad during the summertime. Because if summer breaks open, Dad might have the day off, we can go that day. Fishing. And I remember loving getting to go fishing. I never really remember loving fishing, though.
Yeah.
When I got into college, I don't know, there was a streak there where I was all the time wanting to go fish. And my buddy at the library, Tim Barnes, he was like this tall African-American, 6'7", cool guy. And here I am, this 5'11", pudgy white kid. And we're like Laurel and Hardy going fishing. But that was really fun, getting to go with him. This book makes me feel a little bit convicted in some ways. And it comes from the fishing, and it comes from the family aspect. You said that it makes you re-examine the time that you spend with your family, your brother, those relationships, right? And how can you not when you read this book? Mine, I don't have a great close connection with my dad anymore. We've just grown apart. He lives in Jamestown and I live in Cookeville, and they really don't come to see us all that often. We were really happily surprised when they came to Jane's graduation. but we don't see them anymore. So you've grown apart from your dad, right? Mm-hmm. And it makes me a little bit jealous when I read a narrator like this who looks up so much to their dad. And I don't know, because it's like my dad doesn't hate me, and I don't hate my dad. We love each other. I just never see him. My brother, I have 3 brothers and a sister. Pray for me. I have 3 brothers, and my full brother, like, he's probably the one I'm closest to. And we hated each other as kids. Hated. There was one time we almost killed each other for real. But now that we're grown-ups, we see each other like once a year. Mm-hmm. We love hanging out with each other at that point. So it really does make me re-examine my relationships. And I'm like, in a way, I'm pretty jealous of some of this.
I think that too. There's one scene that stood out to me because Maclean is the oldest brother. And what's his younger brother's name? Fred? Is that right? Or Frank? Or
wasn't it Paul?
Paul. That's right, yeah.
Fred?
I knew it was one of those.
Paul.
Steve. Paul, that's correct. His younger brother, Paul. So that it kind of did immediately. Yeah, I'm already reminded of my brother and me because I'm the oldest. And Paul's the favorite. And Paul is the great fisherman. And so immediately I'm like, okay, I'm with you, Norman. Mm. And I was just like I really connected with one scene in the book where they take their dad fishing that last time, mm-hmm. and he goes down and he's like, well, my brother's trying to take care of me. He's giving me the hole. And so he's walking back up and he's kind of watching Paul fish. And then he says, I'm just going to go down and sit with my dad. And I don't really have much to say, but I think he'll be okay with me just sitting there with him. I just want to sit with him. And I thought, man, that's kind of me. Like sometimes I feel weird because I feel like sometimes when I'm around my dad that I need to fill space. Do you know what I mean? But there are times it's kind of like I don't really have anything to say. I just kind of want to be here. I just to let you know that I'm enjoying the time with you. And I was like, I get this relationship that he's got with his family, and because it was like when Paul comes over, it was like, oh, Norman. Go to your room. Go to your room. But no, I'm with you on the elements of this. Like I understood some of it, and there were parts of it where I wish that I could have more of that a bit. So yeah.
And I'm the oldest brother in my bunch too. Yeah. We should rename this to something like oldest brother guild. It reminded me less of my relationship with my dad and more of my relationship with my grandpa Crockett. I was so much closer to him and just felt like he had basically raised me. But it also made me think, about my sons and wanting to make sure that I'm a good dad to my 2 sons too. Yeah. Andy is like 8 years older than Atticus. Here, Andy's getting married this next weekend, and Atticus is getting ready to start high school. And they're not, Norm and Paul, they're not, but in a way, older brothers understand. We understand that we have to be protectors of the younger brother, and the younger brother's going to get away with a lot more, and he's going to be favored in a lot of ways.
And probably just do whatever he wants to do anyways.
Do it anyways, and he will still come out smelling like roses, right?
Yeah.
And that choke cherry jam, at least it came out for him, right? At least. So it does make me think about that. I think that, so my copy, the intro, was written by Robert Redford. Did yours have that intro to it?
No.
So mine had a couple of intros, and one was by Robert Redford, who made the movie A River Runs Through It. I've never seen it. Have you?
I've not. Mary Beth has, and she was like, oh, that's a great movie, but I've not seen it. Isn't it Brad Pitt's first movie?
Is it his first?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, he is young in it.
Yeah, I think it's his, because I can remember a guy, I don't want to get too far off topic from your story. But,
No.
I watched a video of a guy who, they were talking about Brad Pitt just being like a genuine person and just kind of being like effortlessly cool.
Yes.
And he was talking about how he went to interview Brad Pitt for A River Runs Through It for this magazine because it was like his coming out, and he was just talking about how Brad Pitt, when he got there, was out in the stream fly fishing. And he was just like, I was immediately like, this guy's just too cool for me to go talk to. He said Brad Pitt was just kind of like, hey, how's it going? It's good to see you. So,
and yet, even though you're making me feel comfortable, Brad, I'm still intimidated by you. I'm still just never going to be. That makes me think of when reading Green Lights. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I think Matt McConaughey probably is a really cool guy. Exactly. I think he is pretty genuine, but he also really hypes himself up in that book. Yeah. And I don't know that Brad Pitt does that.
I don't know.
I wonder if he's a self-hype kind of guy.
I mean, I think to an extent, I think in that industry, and one thing that we've not done well with ours in this one is like, you've got to self-promote. And I think that after a time, that just kind of, especially when you're in such a competitive thing, that probably is just like inside of you just a little bit.
Is Brad Pitt the older or younger brother?
I think he's the younger brother.
Matt McConaughey's the younger brher. That's because we're older brothers and they're younger brothers, so cool. And that's what. God, I hate them and love them. you just want to beat the crap out of them, don't you? These younger brothers. No, Robert Redford was talking about how he had come across Maclean's story and that he wanted to make a movie out of it. And Maclean was already like in his 70s when he had written this story. Like he had been a professor for years and then finally came around to writing. So there's hope for us still, right? We could do whatever. Retirement. We could do whatever. And he had come across it. He had approached the subject. Can you imagine if Robert Redford just contacted you out of the blue and was like, hey, I'm going to be passing through Nashville next week. Would you like to sit down?
Well, first off, I'd be freaked out because he's dead.
Who's a celebrity that's on par with Redford these days?
Brad Pitt.
Jeez, you're right. Okay, so Brad Pitt reaches out to us out of nowhere and is like, hey,
I would freak out.
I'm coming through Nashville next week. I'd love it if you guys met up with me. I want to talk about your podcast.
Me being an idiot would be like, let's meet at the Loveless Cafe, the most crowded place ever.
But he had talked to him about it and was like, I want to be faithful to it, but there's some really good writing in here, and I know I can do a bang-up job. He met with him like multiple times. Robert Redford's having to meet with you multiple times to convince you, like to put any possible fears you have aside. I think that's surprising to me. Because I just kind of, if Redford or Brad Pitt showed up, I'd be like, yes, you can have whatever please just take it. But that he had, finally gotten the right to do this and said, I'm going to come up with a mock-up of it, and then you watch it, and if you're no to it, we'll leave it where it is. And he liked it. I've never watched the whole movie, but I'm pretty sure the movie ends with that line that a river runs through it, which is not exactly the end of his story. Like there's a little bit more writing after it, but it's pretty much the same.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting, though, because I did see a quote from Redford about it, because I think you had asked me what genre would we classify this under, and Robert Redford had classified it as a Western. What do you think about that? I think
there's no horses in it.
Oh,
Redford, you're wrong.
That's true. If it's got a horse in it, it's a Western.
There's no horse. I can't do it.
Is there a horse in The Gunslinger?
Hold on.
Because he follows them on foot.
Well, yeah, but he also had a mule. He had a mule, and the mule died. And
that's right.
Leave it behind.
I'll take them. Yeah, that'll count. Okay. All right. It counts.
Well, this may not have a horse, but it does have old rawhide. It does have that. So maybe
take
Redford,
the S out.
Maybe Redford. Well, you are on top of it today. All the wit. You've got this.
I'm trying to keep from saying another joke, too.
I've never watched it, but I kind of do want to watch the movie now.
Yeah.
I know Tom Skerritt plays the dad, and I think that's pretty cool. Tom Skerritt has been in, just a ton of things from the 80s and 90s. I don't know any of the other actors other than the three main guys. But in my copy also had an intro written by Maclean himself, where he talks about, his process of where he came from with it. And you can definitely tell his voice is consistent through his short stories. And he had said that when he reached the biblically appointed age of 70. It's like, that's what a Norman Maclean way of saying. And that he had been in this scholarly group called the Stochastics, who once a month got together and clapped themselves on the back for being scholars and cool kids and stuff like that. And that he had presented this at a reading or he had presented one of his other short stories at the reading, and it drew such a big crowd that he went on to do this one next. So, I don't know, pretty cool, I thought, to have those intro pieces to it.
I am married and only child, but you have brother-in-law, sister-in-laws, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think you probably could. I mean, I think we kind of talked about touching on that a little bit, but I don't have any in-laws. What do you think about that?
I was literally a heartbeat away from just asking you, what's that like, not having any brother-in-law or sister-in-law? But how would you know? Because you've not experienced that.
I don't know. There are times that I wish. Sometimes I'm kind of like, okay, it's cool because you don't really have to worry about not liking someone like he does, you know?
Yeah. For real. For real. Well, I'll tell you, my wife has a sister.
Yeah.
She got married. They were married and had a kid before I ever came along. So there's my brother-in-law, Jeff. And I really like Jeff. He and I are not the same guy at all. We don't fit into a lot of the same boats. We're not, I don't know, our circles don't really overlap a whole lot.
Sure.
But I really like Jeff.
Yeah.
I think we just don't, I don't know, we just don't overlap a whole lot.
I think that's the thing with families is even in a small town where you might have similar stories.
Yeah.
You're still coming from completely different worlds.
Yeah.
Mary Beth and I have talked about that a lot. Like on the surface, if you looked at my family and her family, you'd probably think that they were like similar, like it would be an easy integration. But I mean, I spent my childhood on the lake. I spent my childhood playing sports and going to sporting events. And she did not do any of that stuff. Like their thing would be they would eat dinner watching TV, and you know what I mean. And it was like I'm an only child, and so it's just like these integrations sometimes are not what people would think they would be. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we just come from different worlds. Like it's like I like you guys, but
well, it makes me think that numerous times, so April and I have been married since 2002, and numerous times in the last 24 years, the thoughts come to me where it's like, I wish that I were better friends with my brother-in-law. We just aren't. Like, I feel like you and I have gotten a lot closer this year than I am with my brother-in-law. And I wish I had that with Jeff. I also wish I had this with my dad. What is wrong with me? Here, I've got this couch over here. I'm going to lay back on this couch and you just listen to my traumas. And I'm just going to trauma dump. But my brother, he married. My sister, she married. And then my two younger siblings have not gotten married or anything yet. My brother's wife, I really get along with her. I don't really know her family at all, and I think I'm okay with that. They live in Ohio. There's no real connection there. My sister, I adore my sister. She is like my own baby girl, and I hope one day she listens to this. I adore my sister. Her husband and I have never gotten along, and he has not been a very good person to them in the last few years, so I absolutely do not like him. Andy did not put him on the wedding invite list.
Oh, wow.
And
okay.
She contacted Andy about that this week. And it was like, hey, I love you. I just want to know, am I supposed to bring him or not? And Andy's like, Dad, what do I say? And I said, my man, it's your wedding. I can't tell you anything. You just got to be true to you. And so he wrote her back and he was like, I really love you, but I don't like the way he has done you all, and I would really rather him not be there. If he has to be to get you there, I'll live with it, but I would rather not. And I thought, what a man. What a man to tell the truth like that.
Telling it for the truth.
Telling it for the truth. Bill Landry is somewhere proud of you right now.
But he won't text back.
So my relationship with my in-laws is a mixed bag. It's a mixed goodie bag. But I'm not like buddy-buddy with any of them like I am with you.
Yeah. Best buddies.
I mean, how many times have we done McKay's trips?
Oh, yeah.
Freaking podcasts or whatever, co-planned for lessons and stuff. but I don't do that with my in-laws.
Family. I guess I should take it back about saying I don't have any in-laws from my wife. I do have a brother. My brother married someone great, and I think for Mary Beth, I can remember times when she and I were like engaged and seriously coming along. That Raji was kind of like our extra person that we carry along, which was fun. And Mary Beth has loved Raji like he's her own brother. But I do have cousins that I talk about all the time who are from my mom has a twin, for those out there, an identical twin, and she had 2 daughters, and they're the same age as my brother and me, and they have been sisters to us. And we literally share half of the DNA.
That's right.
And so we are literally half siblings.
That's right.
I read an article about
That's
that.
genetically
It's interesting.
true.
Isn't that weird? Is that not weird?
Yes.
So anyways, but Darren married Ryan, and he's awesome, and we get along. He's an outdoorsman. I think he would love a river runs through it. But we've always gotten along so good, and he's just a great guy. But then, and Jada married Dalton Bain, who is like my best friend. So that worked out perfect. So big times there.
Well, that was the other question I was about to ask is, because my wife gets along with her in-laws, I'm sure in a different way than I do. So I was wondering, how does Mary Beth get along with her in-laws? Like me, I had just said, whether I have close or not relationships. April, I feel like gets along so well with everybody. And I know that she and my sister-in-law click very well. I know that she and my sister click very well. So I just wondered, what is Mary Beth? Does she click well with her in-laws?
I think so.
Yeah.
Mary Beth, though, you and I are similar where I know when I get in large groups, I get a little overwhelmed and I will go sit in a corner and just kind of be quiet.
Oh, yeah.
And Mary Beth's just really good about making sure that everybody is happy, and she's not very confrontational, and I can be confrontational. And she's just very good about being go with the flow, and I'm pretty go with the flow, but sometimes I'm not, and I've admitted that to her openly. So she's done a lot better with her in-laws than I have. So
that's April.
Yeah.
She is so much more go with the flow and wanting to make sure that everybody's happy and feeling connected to what they're doing, whether it's at work, a party, whatever. And what's Jason doing? Lurking.
Yes, that's what I mean.
He's somewhere in here. Huh.
Yeah.
I think there was some another thing with that, the reason why I even came across this book is because of a former student teacher that I had, Nathan Nelms, who I connected with so well. I've had so many good student teachers. I've had a few stinkers along the way, but I've had so many good ones. And Nathan Nelms was a guy that I always fought for to have here at the high school. And man, oh man, I wish he was here in Man Book Club. Nathan Nelms is an outdoorsy guy. I know that you're not, but he's like TWRA, wanting to be outdoorsy. And he's worked at national parks. He's been a high school teacher. He's a Chattanooga guy. And he's just a really cool, laid-back, fun guy. And he recommended this book because he said it was his favorite book ever, and that it always reminded him of him and his brother. And then I happened upon it in McKay's, and I was like, Drew and I have to read it. Like, I totally get where Nathan comes from with this book. I think there are some really well-written lines. I think there are some really well-written lines in here. And one of the first ones is when every Sunday, Father, after preaching his morning sermon, they come back and eat, they study the Bible, and then he goes wandering, preparing for his afternoon sermon, and the boys just follow along. And he's always asking them these theological questions. And the boys say that they answer at the same time in case one of them forgets. They can cover for each other. And it's like, oh, yeah, I'm supposed to say this. But that man is a mess. Man is a mess. That he can be redeemed in a lot of ways. But man is a sorrow. He just brings so much onto him. And boy, isn't that just a universal truth of a whole bunch of things? I'm getting ready to teach the Odyssey. And that's what we call Odysseus, a man of constant sorrow. And how many times in our own lives do we like, man, why do you keep bringing this stuff on your head? Man is a sorrow. Man is a mess. But there's redemption that's possible, and you can get good at stuff. I think that shows up over and over and over between Norm and Paul.
Yeah.
Who's the better fisherman of the two?
Paul. Well,
right?
I don't know, though.
Right?
I got to thinking about that a lot, too, honestly. I really did.
Right.
I got to thinking about how, because I was starting to like read how technical he was writing it and his thought process through it all. And I was thinking like, maybe you're just overlooked. Maybe you're just overlooked.
One of them, I think, is naturally gifted.
Yeah. Which again, I'm sorry, reminds me of my brother and me playing baseball. I've never been around somebody so naturally talented at that. And we would be like, Dalton and I would be like, hey, do you want to come? We're going to go hit some. We're going to fill some. Do you want to come? He'd be like, nah, I'm just going to play some video games. Yeah. But man, we worked our butts off for everything that we had. Like everything that we had. I can remember telling Dalton one time, he probably doesn't remember this. I can remember sitting there. We worked one day. We were there for like 4 hours. And I said, Dalton, you think that we were just not that good?
One of them is naturally gifted. We're all talented. We are all gifted. I always teach that with Hamlet, that everybody in the play is gifted with something, just like you children. Everybody is gifted with something. And my brother is natural. He is a natural at relating to people. I think sometimes he comes, from my perspective, James, if you're listening, you know this is true, Bubby, that sometimes that might come across as a little bit of BS, that he's just, yeah. But I don't know that anybody cares or notices because he's so good to be around. We just love him, We just love being around him. He can be such a, an easy to get along with guy. He's such a golden retriever of a guy. And his brother's a black cat, right? That's what I am.
Do you think that that's Big Brother's little brothers, though? Because, like, Roger will be friends with anybody. And I'll kind of be like, sometimes I'll text him and be like, man, I don't know about these people you're hanging out with right now. And he'll be, oh, no, they're fine. It's fine. Which is a lot like my dad. That's one thing that I've said is I'm like more like my mom, which she probably doesn't want to hear. But I'm more like my mom and he's more like my dad. He'll be friends with anybody. And I'm like, I'm going to keep my distance. It takes me a long time to warm up to people. So it's not that I'm a jerk. Yeah. If you're out there and you're thinking that, it's not that. I got to get to know you.
Do you know we got email about that this week? Why does Drew Hastings sound like a jerk?
That's okay.
I don't know that anybody has ever thought that about you.
Yeah.
No.
When we were at Tech, when you go to Tech, when you're from Sparta and you go to Tech, it's an interesting experience because a lot of people go there.
Sure.
But you also go into your own little fields, right? And so you meet your new little circle. But then there are people that from high school who are connected to these people. And it's not really people that you've really hung out with, but you're aware of. Do you know what I'm saying? And so many nights we'd be going out or something, and they'd be like, oh, we always thought you were a jerk because you don't talk a lot around us and stuff like that. And I was just like, I just don't know you, so I'm not going to talk to you.
It's bizarre to me because I feel like anytime I've seen you around, so when we're doing hall duty, kids naturally gravitate towards you. We have said this a million times. Like, what's one of your strengths for bringing you to the high school? Kids like you. Like people.
Well, because I'm immature.
No, people like connecting with you. Man, I have been to events with you. You sat in front of me at a Cookville High School Sparta game one time. This was a couple years ago. You and Mary Beth sat right in front of me in April.
Remember that? That was a tight squeeze.
It was a tight squeeze because Cookville really shafts their visitors,
especially if they're Sparta.
Because all of Sparta showed up.
Which, FYI, Cookville, we don't care about that rivalry anymore. Right. Well, I hate to say that.
You're not the real rival anymore.
It's dead.
We have better competition out there.
It's dead.
But you and Mary Beth sat right in front of us. It was, knees to elbows. Everybody was jammed in.
Yeah.
But we stood up for something. I don't know if it was the pledge or a cheer. And then when we sat down, you and the guy next to you, it was this shorter African-American guy was sitting next to you, and y'all kind of bumped. And you were so natural. I will never forget this about how you just kind of reached out and you patted him on the back.
That's
and you were like,
thing,
yeah. And he was with you. He was like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And I thought Jason Crockett would never get that reaction out of people. And I also would not feel like, hey, yeah, buddy, whatever. That's not my default. But it is with you.
It's because I'm down.
You are down.
No, Mary Beth, I'm a physical touch guy. And I try to be mindful of that because I will sometimes just like pat a stranger on the back, And I don't know if that's like a Southern thing or what, I don't know. But Mary Beth saw me talking to somebody. I think one time it was when I was coaching soccer, a coach confronted my assistant coach. That's a story that I'll tell you off air. But I got in between them, and I was like, I'm just to say this, we just beat them 5-0. I think he was embarrassed, and he came over and confronted my assistant coach, and I got in between them, and I turned him around, and I put my arm around him, and I could see Mary Beth, and I was talking to him off the field, and she was like, why is that your thing? And I was like, what? And she goes, you just put your arm around people like it's nothing. And I was like, I don't know. I said, I think I just am a physical touch guy. And if I touch you, that's like a connection. That's an easy way to make a connection, like a friendly, do you know what I'm saying?
Well, it effortlessly comes to you that way.
Well, but maybe people are like, oh, this guy's touchy.
I've never seen that. I've never seen that out of any of them. But you naturally gravitate people towards you. So in that way, it's effortless. My brother, naturally effortless. We were at the beach this last summer. Jason Crockett at the beach wants to sit on the beach and just be like, I just want to enjoy this beach.
Oh, yeah.
It's my 1 week that I get to be here.
Leave me alone.
I need to soak up as much of this so I can remember it for the next 180 days when I hate where I am right now. I need to transport. And we were so irritated because the people next to us were out of towners with a fishing, guide or something like that, right, on the beach.
And they put their poles in the sand?
And they cast right in front of us.
Why did they do that?
They used their drone right out over our kids' heads and dropped the line in between them. And I was getting heated about it. Yeah. And April's like, well, what do you want them to do, Jason? What do you want us to do? Do you want us to go out? I said, I'm about to go out there and cut that line is what I'm about to do. My brother came over and started talking to him. Was like, oh, yeah. Well. They were both from Ohio. They both knew this. And it was like, but nobody would have known any of this if my brother, the yellow retriever, the golden retriever, had not come out there and been like, hey, we're all friends. I never would have done that. And I'm still sitting here, everybody's friends except me, sitting here like the angry black cat staring. Like, I hate you. Yeah. Some people it just naturally, effortlessly comes to.
But I do that at T-ball.
Okay.
When they're when they're not there for the kids. That's what. Did you have Justin Luna?
I didn't have him, but I remember him. Yeah,
we played. That was our last game we played. It was Justin Luna, Daniel Rice, and Daniel Ray.
Oh,
which I graduated.
I had both of them.
Which I graduated with those guys.
Daniel Ray and Daniel Rice.
But we were all there for the same reason. Like if our guys did something good, they would celebrate. If their guys did something good, we would. Like it was just a good, So that was a lot of fun. But I have played teams where they're trying to sneak runners in.
Oh, God.
And I've looked at them and been like, "What are you doing? That makes me."
Yeah.
But I also do that to those fishermen because you'll get there at the beach. And they'll come right in front of you and stick their poles in, and your kids will be out there swimming, and they'll cast out. And I've been out there with my kids while they've done that, and I've just sat there and looked at them and just kind of been like, really? Like you're going to? I mean, because that, a couple of years ago there were a lot of shark attacks.
Yeah, right.
In Florida,
right.
And of course, Mary Beth was freaking out, and we got down there, and. Because we're locals now, we were talking to someone down there, and I was like, "What's up with all the shark attacks?" And he was like, "Well, it's because people won't stop fishing off the shore." He said which people do that, and you have the right to do that. You just should not do it in front of other people.
We were at Port St. Joe this past year, and it's not a super crowded beach. I loved it because it's not a super crowded beach.
We go to Vallejo, and it's not super crowded. Yeah,
and you're right there on the Gulf of Mexico. It is
the Gulf of Mexico.
Like when I sat on the beach, I could see it printed on the water out there. You can say whatever.
I saw that too.
But it was printed on the literal water out there. The sharks had signs up when they went by.
They speak Spanish.
And they said, hola. But yeah, I mean, it's a huge beach. It's not like we can't share. But what are you doing casting so far out? You know that when you drag that line in, there's going to be hooks on the end of it. You're going to catch a kid. Like, why do that?
Yeah.
Well, some of us are more effortlessly talented than others, and Paul is so effortlessly talented at fishing, but Norm is the technical master of it. And like I don't know that Paul could ever walk you through the way that Norm articulates it.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
And even at the very end, when they do get back together and they go on that day of fishing, Norm is so much more successful because he knows what kind of lure, and Norm has the array of lures.
Yeah.
Whereas Paul, he only needs his 5. I'll just deal with that. But that 5 ain't going to get you there all the time. This guy, and you can see he's getting jealous. Oh God, and what a brother thing to do when he sees that he's getting more successful. What does Paul do?
Throw a rock. But what is hilarious is when Paul's about to get that last big one, his dad goes out there and throws a rock. Yes. It's so funny.
I mean, what a family thing to do. But I just think that Paul may be more effortless, and there's something natural about it. And we do love that he is this bright, shining star. But the danger of a guy like Paul is that he's going to burn himself out before it's time. Mm-hmm. And I think on some wavelength, we all just know it. Mm-hmm. We just know it. And I don't know, maybe that's why the family cherishes him more, is they don't want to say these things out loud, but they know that there's going to be, like, their blood, something in their cells knows that one day Paul's not going to be coming back home. Mm-hmm. That's what I wonder about.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was interesting, too, how you got these 2 preachers' kids, and they love to fight.
It's always preachers' kids. It's always. Preachers' kids are the worst, and I love it. They are. Oh, shoot, there was something I was going to say about Paul. Oh, yeah. Is that, I don't know, maybe this is an older brother, younger brother thing.
I think that it is, yeah. I think that it definitely is.
I've broken the rules before. I don't know if you have, but I've broken the rules before.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like as a kid, as a teenager, as a college student, as a young man.
I think that the older sibling is rebellious because we are the example. Do you know what I'm saying? I've always been the example. And I think that the punishment thus comes down harder upon us. And I think that, this is me generalizing, but I think that older siblings, I think that we feel like we are wiser than our younger siblings and have more self-control and can pick our way out of situations. So I feel like I can come up to the red line and not cross it. But me coming up to the red line gets me in trouble. Oh, yeah. And then you look over on the other side of the red line, and your brother is like half a mile down the road, and you're just kind of like, hey.
He's doing donuts. Well, he's allowed to. But you, rebellious was, I don't know. I wasn't about to approach the word rebellious. I was going to fall short of that red line. I mean, I've done my bad things before. Yeah. But what is it? I mean, whether it is that we get punished, whether it is that we've been, I don't know, coached into being, you have to be co-parent with me. You have to be the older sibling. You have to be the responsible guard dog for these kids. Like, that's kind of our role.
Well, I've talked to Annie about it a lot because I've told her things I wish that I would have been told when I was going through some of this stuff. And I've told her, I've said, Annie, you've got the toughest job out of all of them. I was like, you're our guinea pig. We're going to go through these things with you for the first time as parents. We're probably going to make the most mistakes with you. And I said, it's a tough job. And I said, and also you influence your brother and sister more than you realize. And so we have to make sure that you're walking that straight path. And that's just what I tell her every time I get onto her about, because she's gotten to where, like, as older siblings, you start to look around and be like, wait, hold on now just a minute. Why am I being treated unfairly? Like, why is this? Do you know what I'm saying? And I can see her sometimes when I'm getting on to her kind of be like looking at Hollis running around and stuff. And that's when I'm like, listen, it's a tough job. You're the oldest. It's a tough job. But Mary Beth also, I'm not claiming this is my favorite child, but Mary Beth, we did the Who's Your Favorite Child?
Yeah.
or who do you think my favorite child is? And she was like, oh, yours is Annie. And I was like, why? And she was like, because she's the oldest and you like protect her from stuff because of that. And I do though. Like I do. I'll be like, hey, it's okay. Yeah. You're the oldest. Just, it'll be fine. Everything's gonna be okay.
I think Paul and Norm are definitely the archetype right here.
I think so too.
And younger brother. Yeah. Because that was going to be my next question is, how do you see it in your kids? Who is the more Paul character of your kids? Who's the one that gets away with a lot more?
I think it just depends on the parent, honestly. I've told Mary Beth that Hazel is the one that things just come easy to. She is already the most athletic. Like, just watching them run, she's the most athletic, which it kills me. I'm not against dancers. Like, I love going to watch the Nashville Ballet, and I think that they are athletes. Let me just preface that. But my daughter right now is 4 years old, and she's as tall as her 6-year-old brother. She's taller than her 5-year-old cousin. She's taller. We've got a friend who's 4, and he's a boy, and she is like a foot taller. So she's going to be a monster. She's athletic, and I'm like, oh, you got to play basketball. She came in the bedroom the other night. She goes, Mama, I'm going to play basketball like Annie and not be a dancer. And I was like, oh, but of course, Mary Beth was like, whoa. Let's just wait and see. And I was like, no, you can. I go, you can be basketball. Yeah, we can do both. We can. But no, I think things come easier to her. But Mary Beth, if she's listening, I've told her this before. Hollis could murder someone, and Mary Beth would be like, oh, son, it's okay.
Oh, my gosh.
It's okay. You're mama's little boy. That's what she said last night. She's like, he's mama's little boy, and I just don't want him to grow up.
Oh, man.
And I was like, so, yeah.
Well, that's the only little boy she's got.
It is, right? Yeah, it is.
I'm
like, we got to make him a man.
My family knows I don't let Jane get away with murder. They know I do not. I'm probably tougher on her than I am a lot of people, but she's the only little girl that I've
had. Oh, no, right? I get it, but yeah.
April does the same thing with Andy. And if he's listening, you know this is true. I mean, Andy's a really good loyal dog too. He's a real good yellow lab. He's a good guard dog of the kids and all of that. And he's always such a good guy. I don't think Andy has done much of anything bad in his life. That brat. Like, I don't think he's ever done much of anything wrong. But if there is anything, he's left so much crap in my garage. He brought his fishing tackle back the other day after he and his fiance went out, and he just threw it in the corner of my garage. And it's like, dude, that's right where I have to get this stuff. And I said something about it. What's the first thing that April said was, oh, I probably told him to put it there. Oh, I think Jason, I think I did that. Why are you jumping in front of the bullet? Why? No, let them take that punishment.
That's funny.
But Mom,
tell him, be like, you got your own place now.
Yeah, right.
Put your tackle box in your own place.
Well, they get all these wedding gifts, and guess where they go? My garage.
Oh,
Dad's garage.
I can't say much.
I am dying right now trying to struggle to get my garage cleaned out so I can have my gym and tool space in there. And it is just stacking up with stuff. Every time I go to work out, I have to unpack my garage because of Andy's stuff.
My mom and dad's basement there's a room in their basement that has essentially turned into Raji and Drew's family storage. So I think that's just your lot, man. If they stay close to home, I think that's just a lot.
I know. Do I send them away or do I keep their junk? What do I do?
You were talking about the riding, and I took a picture of probably my favorite bit of riding. And I think when you're going back through it, Norman Maclean talks about when he takes Paul and Paul takes him fishing, and they take his dad. He starts to talk a lot about how, like, this was the last time that we ever fished together and things like that.
And you kind of know it.
Yeah,
you didn't need him to reflect on it. You kind of get it.
But he writes, though, you can tell that he has spent his entire life thinking about that trip. Yeah. And I'm going to read it really quick because I thought if this Apple little thing will get out of the way. Because I thought, man, this was such a good part of and it's a technical part of fishing that kind of gotten, I told you I'd gotten like exasperated or whatever with it, but I'm going to read it really quick. It says, below him was the multitudinous river, and where the rock had parted it around him, big grained vapor rose. The many molecules of water left in the wake of his line made momentary loops of gossamer, disappearing so rapidly in the rising big grained vapor that they had to be retained in memory to be visualized as loops. The spray emanating from him was finer grained still and enclosed him in a halo of himself. The halo of himself was always there and always disappearing, as if he were a candlelight flickering about 3 inches from himself. The images of himself and his line kept disappearing into the rising vapors of the river, which continually circled to the top of the cliffs, where after becoming a wreath in the wind, they become rays of sun. I was like, man. Like, you can tell he sat there and thought about that moment, like watching his brother cast. That's what he's talking about, is his brother. That's when he goes and sits next to his dad, and they're just sitting there watching Paul fish. Yeah. And you can tell that he sat there and just that's the permanent lasting image of his brother in his mind.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Sometimes I wonder if heaven's going to be a little bit like that. Not that we're like reliving all our memories or anything, but that you find that one perfect day that's just on constant loop, something like that. You really do get the impression that this is going to be their last trip out. Like, you weren't shocked that Paul.
No,
I wasn't either.
I was not. But man, it was such a hard thing on the dad, because he would always ask, like, you know more about what happened, because Norman didn't tell the dad the whole story,
right?
And it took me a minute to figure out, but it was because of the gambling debt.
That's right. Yeah. Well, the foreshadowing was there at the beginning of the story.
Yeah.
Is that Paul will go out, and whether it's with this Native American woman or whoever, he's always out with women, he's always getting drunk, and he's always gambling, and you need to tell him to quit.
Yeah. Well,
something bad.
He had a huge debt. The sheriff told him, like, he's got a big debt with the wrong people.
Yeah.
And the dad would just be like, you know more than you're telling me.
Well, it's not even just the debt. When they were leaving, some of these guys ran their mouths about the woman, ran their mouths about him. And they were just making a big noise, just trying to be idiots. And what does he do but just wallops him in the mouth, starts a fight, and they spend the night in jail. Like, Paul is never going to let something like that go. And so whether it's the debt, whether you're being instigated, you're drunk, all of this, Paul's going to get himself hurt one of these days, and he's just not going to come home.
Yeah. Well, we're about to run out of time, but I do want to talk about one character.
Yeah.
Old Rawhide.
Oh, I knew it. I knew it. What about her tattoo? L-O and V-E. Oh, my God.
What did she call Paul? What did she call Buster?
Yes.
She'd never call him by his name. She'd just call him Buster. And Norman was like, she only called me you.
That's right. Because Rawhide knew people's names if she had been interacting with them or cared to like leech off them.
It wasn't Paul that she called Buster. It was his brother-in-law.
Yes,
Right.
And then if she knows you but doesn't like you or whatever, she's just going to say you.
For those who haven't read, and I meant to preface that when we were talking about brother-in-laws, Norman Maclean is kind of tasked with, quote unquote, saving or helping his brother-in-law, who is just like a drunk degenerate in LA. And when he comes back, he meets old Rawhide, is the town whore, essentially. She's a local prostitute. And he talks about how she's in season or out of season based off of which husband. Which husband's in town.
What a sportsman's way of referring to it, too.
But of course, when his brother-in-law comes in, he gets hooked up with Rawhide, and he's hungover when they go fishing the first time, and his wife's like, "Don't leave my brother," and his brother basically catnaps, and he ends up leaving him because he's drunk, and they get mad at him because he gets sun poisoned.
Yeah,
and well, so Norman's like, well, I'm gonna go on a fishing trip with Paul, which I thought was kind of a cool moment where they all kind of had like an understanding of, it's not your fault, but we're having to make it look like it's your fault.
Right.
Like he had that moment with the sister and his wife, and which I thought was kind of cool. Like we're all on the same side, but we can't make it appear that way. But anyways, his brother-in-law shows up on this secret camping trip with Rawhide.
Yeah.
And
she keeps calling him my man. Yeah. That's my man. That's my man.
That's where the sun poisoning comes from, because they end up going out to the riverbank drunk and sleeping with each other, and they're naked when they find them. But anyways, they bring them back to town, and that's the funniest part. I've not laughed out loud at a book in so long. That was such a good part.
Well, they see them coming away from it too. Well, the first clue is that they've buried beer bottles in the river at different spaces, so the river will keep them cool. And my beer's gone, and now it's gone here. It's because they went back through the river and just took them all.
And he tells Paul, he goes, surely he didn't come out here and hunt for our beer, because it was kind of like we put them where we knew they were at. He said, surely they didn't come out there. But they're driving back, and they drop Rawhide. They drop her off at the edge of town, and Paul runs out and literally kicks her in the butt.
Yeah. Well, she keeps running her mouth at him, and these two, he can't let it go. He can't let it go.
And Norman's in the car, and he's like, you know what? I think I'm gonna give you some of that. Oh man, this is the best part of the book.
I really enjoyed it.
Me too.
Again, I don't know that this would have been a book I picked up off the shelf if it hadn't been for some of the guys in my life telling me about it. So I'm really glad that they did.
I did have a quote I wanted to read.
Oh, yeah.
This is from Norman Maclean. He says, and I surrender it now with great reluctance. He's talking about Montana. That's where they were at, right?
Yeah.
Montana. He's talking about Montana and it's changing and the people that are coming in. He says, and I surrender it now with great reluctance to dude ranches, the unselected inhabitants of Great Falls, and the Moorish invaders of California.
Yep, I highlighted that same exact line.
They just can't help themselves.
It's always the California.
They just cannot help themselves.
And I mean, on another level, it reminded me too of these places that are so idyllic in your own youth. I know that there was a place up the road from my house that we called the bike trails, and it was just these little trails through the woods that we would ride our bikes and jump these hills. That was our playground. That was my Lothlorien, where my buddies and I would go up there and play. Right. And then it's just developed and built over, and there's whatever houses, cheapo houses that are built on it. Or the pond where you used to go fish, the creek where you used to go by, and those things are like a tail gone with the wind.
The Moorish
Californian invaders. Hot.
We've had to explain to our kids, because Mary Beth and I probably complain about that too much out loud. And I told the kids, I was like, because they're like, why do you not like Californians? I was like, no, you don't understand. Like, the ones who stay out there and stay, like, if they come and visit every now and then, that's fine. I was like, it's the ones who are, like, happy where they're at. I said, I like those Californians. They're kind of cool. I was like, those Californians are cool.
Yeah.
We get the Moorish ones.
I swear, I know that my family has heard me complain about it so much too, because it somehow came up. Somebody around us was saying, "Oh well, they're here from California," but I didn't even say a thing. I said nothing, but I could see the looks in all my family going, "Oh God," because they just knew what Jason's going to say. So, oh God.
Well, at church Sunday, it was introvert or extrovert Sunday, which I know you hate. I hate it. Turned around, which they were really nice. I just want to say that. They were really nice. We were like, where are you from? And she goes, we're from Cali. I was like, I knew it. But they were really nice. I'll say this.
I saw a couple of them at Sam's this weekend. I didn't even have to ask.
You can pick them out from a crowd.
I just knew.
That's our when the line coming into the river is so long. That's what we play when going in is who's from California and who's not. It's easy to pick them out. And I have learned. I think that the ones with the upside down flag license plates, they're trying to like integrate, and it's like, hey, your flag is upside down. By the way.
Oh God, you can smell them.
I surrender it now with reluctance to the homesteaders, the unselected inhabitants of the great rivers, and the Moorish invaders of California. That's my ode to Tennessee. I have surrendered it.
No. Yeah.
No, it was a really good book.
I enjoyed it too. Yeah.
A little novella. Good little novella.
Someday you'll have to do a Deadman at the movies with it.
I know. I'm trying. I know that. I tell Mary Beth that you've asked for it, but there's been a lot more people who have said we want more Deadman at the movies, and she keeps telling me that I'm making that up, and I tell her that I'm not.
No,
but I don't know. We just haven't had a chance to really sit down and watch a movie.
It's about to be summer break.
I know.
It's about to be summer break.
There's been so many that I've wanted to do. Like I wanted us to do a Project Hail Mary.
Oh yeah.
Which we might do that one.
Yeah.
And then I've wanted us to do. What are some books that I don't know. We've read some books lately, but.
You could also get Dalton or Raj to do a Deadman at the movies with you too. For this one,
maybe
and
so.
see what the bros say about it.
As long as my youngest brother doesn't say things on there in certain ways that prevent me from publishing the episode.
That's why God made the bleep button.
Yeah, right. All right, I gave it a retrograde or retrospective 5 stars.
I gave it 5 stars. Maybe, you should never go grocery shopping on an empty stomach because you're just going to buy everything, right? You're not thinking clear. You should never rate your Goodreads as soon as you're done reading the book because I think you're on such a high or such a low with it that maybe you should just give it some time and then go back and rate it.
I've done it 2 different ways. I used to do it just off the gut as soon as I read it. And then I used to do that where I'd wait a day or two before I actually rated it. And then I don't know, I've decided that it's just better to do it on the go and then go back and change it if I feel like I need to.
Stephen King says that when you're writing, you finish a draft, put it away in a desk and walk away from it. Like just leave it alone, whether it's a month, 2 months, something like that, and then come back to it to give yourself some time to forget it, to get that taste out of your mouth and then go back through as like a new person.
I like that.
So I don't know. I may start doing that, just giving myself some time before I go back to rate them.
Do you always read your stuff out loud?
Not everything, but
I do.
We were talking about this with Abolition of Man, right? How I was reading it out loud in an English voice.
No, I'm talking about like stuff you write.
Oh, I got you. I have not really written in a long while, so I don't remember.
That's a trick Russ Richard taught me, was to read out loud.
Now, like if I'm writing, I will say if I'm writing anything in the classroom or whatever, I do. Yeah. I read it out loud. It's just been a long while since I've written fiction for real.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just anything.
Oh, well then, yeah.
I know I send emails out a lot that are probably like not grammatically correct, but I don't even, that's just like stream of consciousness. I'm just like typing out stuff. I don't even like double check those.
I triple check my
email. I don't.
I usually do.
I don't. I just send mine out.
I usually do.
So that's probably why you're like, what are you doing, Drew?
Gemini's like, can I help you write this? And I'm like, I've got this. I don't need you.
Out of 20 though, I'm going to give it a 17.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That's where my gut tells me it's 17.
How much at McKay's?
I would have spent $6.50 on this because it comes with multiple stories, and mine came with intros. So knowing what I know, I would have spent $6.50.
I think I would have spent $4.
But McKay's has high prices now.
That's why I say $4.
So maybe a $4 is a $6.50 nowadays.
Maybe so.
Maybe a $4 means you would have really spent like $1.50 on it, but now you're willing to spend $4.
Freaking inflation.
Oh, McKay's.
Thank you.
How much would you spend on Abe Books? Abe Books, you're expecting to find the
$1.50.
I was going to say $2.50. That's what my gut tells me.
Maybe that's a new segment of the show is we guess the lowest price we think we'll find it on and Abe Books and then search.
You know, the game that I'm worst at is Price is Right.
Oh.
April's pretty good at it. I'm horrible. I overspend on everything.
I'm going to say that it's on Abe Books for $1.50. What do you think?
I'm going to believe it, but I'm still going to say something like $2.
Give me a drum roll, please. Hardcover.
Oh.
$12.06.
Yeah, but that's hardcover, and that's probably harder to find.
Soft cover. I'm surprised. How much do you think? It's not. It's more than both of us.
Oh, are we back in the $6.57 range?
It's $5.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh. This is gonna be a fun one. First edition.
Oh, geez.
Signed by Norman Maclean, which this is one thing I do love about A Books. We are not sponsored by A Books. I wish that we could be. Acast won't monetize us, even though we've got 1,000 monthly downloads as per their terms of conditions, and something needs to be done about that.
I think you kind of owe it to us.
Yeah, I think you do. Yeah, we actually do quality content, and we don't AI our stuff. Okay, first edition signed by Norman Maclean. A river runs through it. How much do you think that's?
I'm going to say 3,200.
Ooh, no.
Oh, higher.
8,500.
Jeez, OP. I'm bad at prices right.
It's a pretty, well, these are hard to tell because I think you don't really understand how popular some things are. I think this is a pretty popular book. I think so.
A popular book or movie?
Both. I think it's both. That's what I think.
Because I'm just wondering if I ever hear of it outside our small circle.
I don't know.
But see, there's the yellow lab again and the black cat over here. If it weren't for the yellow lab like you, Man Book Club would not exist like it does.
Oh.
And
well, it doesn't really though, does it?
But it does. But it does. But it does. And then you even reach out to, hey, Tyler, come read these books.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian, come read these books. I know those guys, but I never reach out and be like, hey, take this book. I never do that.
Here's a Barack Obama book.
I'm the black cat over here with my Barack Obama.
President Obama. What if he could be on our show?
I would die. I
think I would too.
That's the golden hind.
Dream
right
guests: Charles Frazier and Barack Obama
simultaneously.
What
I would be the dead man under a cone.
Which one do you think we have the better chance? I think Barack Obama is a better chance. That's what I think. If you could find the right person in his team to ask that would take that to him, I think he would be on our podcast because I think he's that kind of guy.
Man, he is so far above me, though. That's another one of those that's like, Brad Pitt would never talk to me. Barack Obama, he would never reach out to talk to me.
You know the memes where Obama sees the white guy, he shakes their hand. He sees the black guy, he dabs him up. Dude, I'm telling you, I've thought about this so much.
Are you getting the dab?
I'm going for the dab up. Yeah, I'm going in for it. I'm going in like, what's up?
He can already see just the normal handshake on me a mile away. Barack can see it on me a mile. This guy over here.
All right, we got to say thank you as we think Norman Maclean would sound, even though I'm pretty sure there are interviews of him, but here he is.
Oh, geez. Okay, yeah.
You go first since I'm holding it up for you.
Okay, gee whiz. While standing at the river, I wondered if the fly fishing would be good today or not. But by the heat and the river and the dust and the flowers and the current, you knew, good fishing or not, time was going to pass. Brothers would change, and I would eventually write about it here in Montana by August of 1990. Thank you.
Part of me wants to do it in a Scottish accent because he kept saying Scott, but you know that they're Canadian. Like they're Canadian, right?
But he just looks so serious.
Oh,
I don't know. Has he ever smiled a day in his life?
Doesn't look like it. If you're wondering what this story's all about, well, I'll tell you. Hey, it's about family, brothers, and dads, and prostitutes. So, thank you for listening to it. And that's what it's about.
Ootin' about. Hey, if you're a fan of good conversations and fresh takes on literature and the kind of school stories that stick with you long after the bell rings, well, I've got a podcast for you. It's called With Honors, and it's where my high school students have taken the microphone, not just to analyze books or talk about our lessons, but to reflect on what we've learned this year, have conversations about what surprised them, how our literature and classroom experiences connect to their real lives. And we talk about everything from symbolism and Poe to the pros and cons of class pets, and all through the voices of smart, curious students who have learned to speak their minds. New episodes drop regularly every week, and every one is a snapshot of what it looks like when students take ownership of their own learning and have a little fun while they're at it. You can find With Honors on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and our YouTube channel, so check them out.